Hi. In England, United Kingdom, we have a Father's Day, and that's usually in mid-June. So I'm going to be creating one of these pop-up cards. It's got a Z fold to it. It uses Jolly Nations decoupage, some hunky-dory card, acetate and various background papers of your choice. So the first thing you need is an A4 piece of paper, and you're going to trim it so that it's just 6 inches wide here. This is a spare piece. And then you're going to score in the halfway line, so that's the A5 width. And then score half of that again. Then you can fold that at the halfway mark. And then fold this like a valley this way round. And that's your basic card. You can use this piece to form the front here, or you could use a different piece of card. I'm going to use a different piece of card. I can show you how to do that. I'm going to be using this piece of card. It's A4 in length, it's 6 centimeters tall, and I've scored it at the halfway mark and half again here, just like we did with the card blank. I'm going to fold it the other way around. So I'm going to turn it around, fold it that way, and fold it that way. Grab a pencil. I'm going to mark it off where your double-sided tape is going to stop at for this bit here. So turn that over, mark off where your double-sided tape will end, because you're going to be taping it across here and here. As you can see, I've used the ultra sticky tape because I think it needs that to keep it all together, and that's ready to put on our card like so. But what we're going to do is decorate the background first. I've decided to use some gold mirror board for my border. So to measure it up, I'm going to have an inset of a few millimeters, so it's not going to go right up to the edge, just a few millimeters in either side. I'm going to use a guillotine as well to cut this out. As you can see, I've repeated the process for the middle panel, and now it's just the last one to do here, but that's going to be shorter because it's up to you, but I like to have it so that it just fits here. In order to save waste, I've created border out of my panel, and then I'm going to use the waste to create my third panel. Alright, so I've stuck those down with some wet glue. I've got some backing papers here. These are from First Edition and Crolander. I'm going to measure them up against my panels here. Again, a few millimeters in all sides. That's the background done and stuck in. Now it's time to stick on your front panel. Remember, the long end is at the front. So use your fingers to anchor that down into the corner. Flatten your card so you can find the other corner. There you go. And that's your base. Next is to stick down your decoupage at the front. I'm using Jolly Nations decoupage sheet. It's a heavy paper. It is cut your own out, but it's lovely to cut out. So what I like about this is that there's lots of different elements there that you can use for your pop-up. So I'm going to go ahead and cut that out. So all those elements are cut out. I'm going to glue down the base layer on the front like so. And then all the subsequent layers I'm going to use foam pads. hover over your work so that you can line them up exactly where you need them to be. Decoupage done, it's time to create our pop-up feature. We need some tabs to go in here, so I've used some scraps from here, and the magic number is 1.5 centimeters because it's going to be 1.5 centimeters wide. And then we just need some tabs, so they're 1.5 centimeters here. Measure it against the card inside from that tab so that you know where to draw your next tab line. Again, 1.5 centimeters to create that tab. You can trim that off, any excess there. So that's your tab. We can use double-sided tape, red tape preferably, to stick that in. Create another one. I'm using red tape, ultra strong. Now this is the tricky bit. Put them in situ so that they're perpendicular as well and they don't slant. Take your time for this. So my first one is going to be about here, I think. Align it to the top. Next one. There you go. Now it's time to stick in your acetate pop-ups. So you need some acetate. The quickest way to make these strips is to put some red tape across the top and trim them down 1.5 centimeters wide. That's all done. I've stuck some red tape on the back of my pieces here and we're ready to assemble. Right, now this part is entirely up to you how you want to arrange it. These pieces here stick to those tabs that you made. So you roughly want to measure how tall you want things and how much you want them to tilt as well. Bear in mind you don't want things tilting into here as it might crush it. Okay, so if I had that about there and stuck that here, before I stick it down I'm going to cut off the excess from behind the item. There you go. Okay, that's your first piece done. Go ahead and carry on sticking in the acetate pop-ups using those two, and if you so wish here as well. To finish off my card I've got a grass die here, got some green paper. I'm going to die cut a few of those out. Grass stuck down, it's time to put a sentiment in here, so I've chosen World's Best Dad. I've got some double-sided sticky paper that I'm going to put this onto before I run it through my die cut machine. For this all you need to do is peel off one layer, that's the sticky side. Put your gold foil or whatever you like to use, this is scrap from before, so that goes on top of the sticky. Like so. Die cut goes over that. Use some masking tape so that it stays in place and run that through your machine. So that's popped out of my dies very nicely. Peel off the backing paper and it's ready to stick down. Last but not least, don't forget to stick on your handmade by label that comes with a Jolly Nation decoupage sheet onto the back of your card. And there you have it.